Hi. Oh my goodness. What a joy to be together today. Mm. How does that word make you feel? Together. To me, it means connection. It means support. It means unity. Doesn't it feel great to not be alone? One of the best feelings and true desires and needs that we have as human beings is being connected. It's something that we need in life. We are social creatures. And in a world where, especially today, we are more connected than ever, we're really not. And I've seen, tell me if you've been on the same page, but I've seen a lot of loss of true deep connection, what it means to have a conversation with somebody and really feel the essence of that conversation through tone, through words, through facial expressions, body language, energy transfer between two people. It's really lacking and missing in the world today. And I've discussed prior that one of my favorite things to do, and one thing that I really stress and focus on and practice as much as I can to get better and better at it, is really communicating myself well online with other people, whether it's through comments or through audios and videos, really sharing as much of me as a person, that there is a person there, but not only that, but there's a person on the other side. And so if you aren't aware of something that's going on in our world today, we have something very beautiful happening right now here in Canada as I'm having this conversation with you right now. Thousands of 18 wheelers, truckers, not just them, but, pickup trucks and people who just have really supported a movement, a cause, this most beautiful thing. We have something happening called the Freedom Convoy 2022 happening right now. And yesterday, I found myself at an overpass feeling you guys, I've never felt more gratitude and more part of this world than I had on that overpass when I was waving and cheering and supporting something that really meant something to me. And saying just that is so important for you to recognize that you have things that mean so much to you. And my hope is that people in your community will cheer you on when something means so much to you. I think we can all agree in the last couple of years that everybody has felt unheard. Everybody has felt anger. Everybody has been hurt. Everybody, not a group, not a side, everybody has felt something. Their life has changed. They've taken on pain, hurt, change, some shape, way, or form. You have hurt, and I honor you, and I'm hearing you. And from that, a common reaction which is part of this process of going through pain and change. And everything I say, I have done too. We have defended our feelings, our beliefs. Every single person has defended. And now is the time to listen. When we have an open ear for our neighbor, we have an open ear extended to us. And that's your opportunity to be heard. I want to share a little nugget with you as we process the most unified experience I've ever had in my entire life to feel part of something so beautiful and meaningful that goes beyond some of the simple definitions that this movement is representing. You know, when I started my business over 10 years ago now, wow. It's really something to say something like that to yourself out loud. And so, if you just take a brief moment, if there is something you've been doing for a very long time, can you celebrate that? That alone is a huge accomplishment that you have stuck to your guns and you have believed in yourself and committed over and over again. So amazing. Good on you. Something that was introduced to me when I first started my business 10 years ago was a concept that I didn't really grasp the full, you know, meat and bones of it until a little bit later. When I first started my business in network marketing, you know, I had this vision, and you'll see how I'm connecting this in a few minutes. But I had this vision for myself. And much like yourself, as you're thinking of maybe starting a new project for yourself, or you have a personal mission for yourself, whatever that scenario is, you can see it. You have created this vision, this goal in mind, and it means something to you. For me, 10 years ago, it meant a whole lot, you guys. Having my business meant I wouldn't be in debt anymore. It means finally I can feel respected and appreciated at work, which relays into my head and me learning to respect myself. It means so much for me to have not the things, not the things, but the stress that comes along with not having the things. When you're battling to not even being able to pay your mortgage or your rent or the car that just broke down for you to be able to get to work that allows you to make your income to be able to eat, that's scary. That's scary stuff when you live that every day with that uncertainty. And so it meant something to me to be able to carry a vision when I started my business that I'm going to do this. Now, when I started my business, to everybody else, first of all, I didn't really think of what they thought because I was so wrapped up in what I was going to do. But there was one person who I knew how he responded to it. He was very supportive. My husband was very supportive of this, and he's always supportive of everything that I want to do for myself. But I can tell he wasn't invested, and that was okay because it wasn't his vision. And I could tell his belief wasn't super strong because a home based business, we've seen it. We've seen it in our homes, our grandparents, you know, maybe they had a little Tupperware party or maybe they did a little, had a little something with the girlfriends over. That's the history of what we've witnessed of it. And it's cute. I was told that it's cute. But I saw this as a business. I saw it more than what the average person saw it as. And I dedicated myself to it. And because I did, I created something of it and I helped other people see that it actually can be more than what they thought it was. Now, that being said, when you get into business, something that you need to do for yourself is be able to protect your vision. So you can apply this anywhere in your life, not just business. Maybe you're opening a practice. Maybe you're going back to school. You want to start something new. Maybe you have a new job. Whatever that case is, you need to be able to protect your vision. What that means is as you embark on something so great and meaningful to you, there will be people who don't agree with you. There will be people who try to bash you simply because they don't have the same belief as you. And what you need to know as a person is that's okay. You don't need everyone's support for you to move forward. You need to believe in yourself and what it is that you stand for. Why they do this? There's various reasons. Some people love you so much that what they're worried about is what propels them to try to protect you in their own way. So take it as a compliment. You can appreciate their input, but you don't have to respect it. You don't have to follow it if it's not aligned with your vision. Some people simply will not believe in what you're doing, and they will feel the need to pull you down. Sometimes that's because you're doing something that they know they could, that they're not. So it's almost a call out on their inaction. And so people can become defensive of it. Some people simply just don't align with it. And that's okay. It is our job, our inside job to be okay with the fact that someone else doesn't believe in what I believe, does not make what I believe to not be true. You don't need everyone to believe in what you believe for you to believe it. You need to. Whose support do you need the most? Who shows up every single day in your life? You do. You do. So, this brings me to this most beautiful experience that we're witnessing right now. Right now. This is history. This is something I really want to talk about the beauty of what's happening. Okay. There can always be chaos, there can always be a mess, but I want to address the beauty of what's happening. People are coming together. And after years of which side are you on? Are you group A or are you group B? Are you left or you right? This is about unity. And I witnessed it. I stood on an overpass and my friends were there. I'd never met them before in my entire life, but we just knew because we were there together on a mission that meant so much to us. And we smiled and we celebrated. And we celebrated the action and motion that was in hand, the movement that was in hand. Everybody was there for each other. It was the warmest hug I could have ever experienced. There is nothing like having people stand up for you when you feel like you're the last man standing. It is the most beautiful thing. And you can only achieve that by being the last man standing, meaning your vision that you have in your life, you need to commit to it. You need to believe in it. You need to believe in yourself and go even when it seems hard and not one person is left doing, supporting anything that you're doing. You need to have grit. You need to persevere. You need to persist. And I've addressed this many times before. You really do matter. You really do matter. When you're going through the hard stuff at home and it seems so hard to continue and press on, and the stress of the situation because now maybe you've lost an income or whatever the scenario is, you need to keep going. You really do matter. And just when you think it's almost time to give up, someone reaches out and tells you they've been watching you and you've inspired them to keep doing their thing. And that is literally what is happening right now, is that people have decided to stand up in something that they believe in, and they've propelled everyone around them to realize that they are not alone, that all the work and the stress and the cries and the tears and the pain that they're going through, they're not alone. And in fact, they're stronger. They're stronger. They're supportive in a time where we literally have had lockdowns and shutdowns or whatever you want to call it, or business closures and people losing their jobs. People are showing up and bringing food and supporting in the blistering cold with little ones and taking their children out of school and all sorts of things to show up for these people who have traveled all the way from the West Coast and the East Coast, miles and miles and miles, just because they believe in something. And I feel that I can honor that. In fact, I can honor anyone who has a beautiful mission to create and honor anyone. Now, I don't need to go into any detail, but I want to share with you the fact that by celebrating, a lot of people with opposing views have come up, and that's fine. And that's beautiful. That tells me that you have a belief, and it doesn't have to align with mine or anyone else for that matter. We're all individuals, and that's what makes us so unique. That's why I have a hard time seeing groups. I know that there's a lot of, this tribalism that happens, once someone is seen as a certain, like a left or a right or um, I don't know, whatever it is that you believe in, you define someone as the, um, kind of the, view that that group has. And really, at the end of the day, we're no better than a large corporation that hands a number out to a person, an employee. We need to see everybody as a person, an individual. And how one person acts is not how everybody who has a similar belief acts. But that being said, a concern that came up in some of the opposing views is that, this really doesn't mean anything. There are bigger problems at stake in hand in this world, and this is what's going on. This is what they're fighting for. And I can understand that, but I want to address that view for a second because I want all of us to really understand that, first of all, I, just as much as you, have been in the process of processing our entire life the last 2 years. And I've learned that if anything, everything matters. Every single thing you can think of matters. Maybe not to you, but to somebody. We have huge issues in this world, and many of them support. And how you support them, you may show up differently in your way to honor that. And I honor you for that. And that being said, things that have maybe happened in the past in history or in other areas of the world that may so seemingly be more severe than something that's currently happening doesn't mean that the thing that's happening doesn't matter. More than one thing can be right at the same time. That's what Shane always tells me. And he's right. You can believe in two movements at the same time. In terms of how important they are, that's your perspective. But it doesn't mean they're not both important. Which brings me to something that I want to be better at. I really want to be better at is honoring when someone feels something. Disregarding someone's belief, mission, vision, goal is part of the leading cause of some major issues that we have today. If we really look at some things that many of us will classify as big deals, we have Let's Talk Bell was the last couple of days. Mental health issues, depression, anxiety, suicide, drug abuse, alcoholics. The whole thing, all of that takes place in life because someone was told that what problem they're going through doesn't matter, or it doesn't matter as much as. Think of such as. Or they've been told or feel that they don't matter. In turn, they drink, they cut, they hurl up their food, they don't eat, they sleep, they don't work, they don't care. They simply think they don't matter. So, this movement has been in support of the people. This movement is action that needed to take place, that is taking place. You have two types of people in life. You have thinkers and you have doers. And I hope that this propels you to really think about some things that are extremely important to you in your community and to start taking a stand and a step in a direction that can really make a change. It's a very smart move that's happening right now. Smart in an essence that not only was it peaceful, but it's brought people together after years of many being divided. And so that alone has been the most beautiful thing. And we can't stop and be naive to the fact that we need that. We need to be connected. And that no matter what, if our views are very unique and different, can we honor that? Is it okay for someone to have a different belief than somebody else? That's in your hands. Can we get along if somebody has a different belief? And can we answer someone or discuss with someone if they do in love, in recognizing that they are a person? And maybe if we open an ear and hear, we can get somewhere. We can come to an understanding that works for both. You know, just sharing my last story years ago when Shane and I first started dating, I was a very like, this is what I'm doing. I was very dedicated to my career in fashion. And so when I graduated, a job opportunity came up about 2 hours away from us. And there really was it was very challenging to even want to think of how we were going to make it work between us because he worked 2 hours away. And that being said, I was very specific on my not giving up my career vision and passion for a man or for anyone. I was going to do it. And so I was very one way. And he came back with, well, let's figure this out to make it work. Compromise. And I've learned so much on how to do that, to not be so quick to judge, to not be so quick to answer, to allow the emotions that rise within me to process and come back and realize that I am discussing with another person and what I do will affect them as well. I want to leave you with one of my favorite quotes of all time. It's not only beautiful, but it's something that I received while I was in business. And it moves me. It moves me. And you'll understand why it actually moves me because it's about action. It's about you as a person doing the do. Here we are. We have this beautiful quote by somebody you might know, Theodore Roosevelt. It's called The Man in the Arena. It is not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat.